You either don't eat all that shit or you're on steroids.
Only be here for you.
What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. Nuttyfoodiefitness here. This video is going to be very different to my usual videos. There will unfortunately not be any food or any eating in this video, but a lot of foodie content on the way. I just want to say a massive thank you to DNAFIT for sponsoring this video. If you're wondering what DNAFIT is and what this video is all about, essentially with DNAFIT you send off a swab of saliva and they basically come back to you with DNA results that will help maximize your performance. You'll get a personalized nutrition plan based on your genetic profile. With genetics you obviously get what you're given, you can't exactly alter your DNA, but you can make lifestyle choices that are better suited to your body. So my reasons for doing this test and for creating this video are different. 2 weeks, no, not 2 weeks, what am I on about? 2 months ago, I did a similar test and I posted one of the results on my Instagram about the fat gene. My specific results showed I was genetically at a very low risk of obesity, and I put this on my Instagram story and I had a lot of people interested in me doing a video on it. Now at the time, I could see that people were interested, but I kind of thought these are my own results, and so me posting a video about my results, is that really going to be beneficial to anybody else? However, I do respond to all the comments and messages that I get, and 94.8% of the time I'm writing that everybody's body is different and we all respond to food and exercise in completely different ways. And so what I thought is I would create this video and hopefully my results will kind of add a little weight to the argument of the fact that we all are very different. Not one size fits all. There is not one single plate that will satisfy everybody's stomach. Absolute genius. Was there actually another layer to that weight comment? Now the reason I say argument, people, especially on social media, are very quick to make accusations and judgments on other people based on themselves. So they are comparing their own body, their own diet, their own fitness regime to somebody else and then wondering why the results aren't the same. The only logical answer people have to how can I stay lean eating, you know, a high carb, high fat diet, well, I must obviously be starving myself. I'm gonna just read a couple of, you know, messages that I read and respond to on a daily basis. By the way, if you see me looking down, it's because I've got my laptop right here, not trying to be like unsociable. I was gonna blank out the names, but then I thought they're not private messages. These are comments that people are publicly making on my YouTube videos. So I actually like her channel, but I think she falls into those fitness girls that portray themselves as eating so much when it's physically impossible to maintain that physique. Let's be honest about it. Nuttyfoodiefitness, there is no way you eat that much. Good video though. Thanks. You're lying to the viewers. I know what you did. You starved yourself. Mate, I don't understand how your body can still look flawless but you eat so much. Are you okay? Like, are you bulimic? Not trying to be horrible, but I just can't understand how your body can cope. Your whole fandom, including me, will be nothing but supportive about your health. Abnormal amounts of food, puffy face, swollen salivary glands, signs of purging. Her basal metabolism is probably around 2,000 calories, and the amount of food she ate in every video is significantly above that. Not trying to say anything, but do your maths. No one should follow this kind of eating. Skinny people who show they eat a lot in public but secretly don't eat much in private. Entire video just sounds like, oh, I eat whatever, however, whatever I want and still stays perfectly in shape. Now, My response to this comment, I'm just being completely honest with how I go about training and eating. This is a comment that somebody's made on my Q&A video. I have always said that I personally do not follow a training split or calories. So the fact that I say these things, because this is what I personally do. I don't follow a plan. You know, you do you, I'll do me. Everybody is different. I don't know how many times I say this exact same thing, but still, there are a lot of people that just don't seem to understand that. I always make a very strong point that genetics play a huge role in everything. People will stick to calories to a T, use MyFitnessPal as their Bible, but they are overlooking the fact that genetics are obviously playing a huge role in their responses to the way they eat and their training. So my responses to people asking me, how is it that you're cheating every day? By the way, I don't do cheats, I just do normal eating. That it's a combination of me working very hard, my genetics, as well as my metabolism. Again, why when I eat sugars or high carb food I put on water but you nothing? Because every single human is unique. How do you still have great abs? I heard that diet plays an important role in fitness. If there was justice in the world, I wouldn't have abs. However, I was blessed with a fast metabolism and I don't store that much fat in my stomach area, hence why I have abs. So yeah, I'm forever talking about genetics playing a role, metabolism playing a role, but yet there are a lot of people that seem to completely disagree. There isn't such genetics in the world. Abs aren't loyal, especially in women. You either don't eat all that shit or you're on steroids. Stop fooling people and stop playing with their feelings. I really like her content, but there's no such thing as being metabolically blessed. I wish she'd be honest about what she eats. So I think this is enough ammo for me to make this video. I'm hoping that my results will give more of an indication of how I'm able to maintain my physique with my diet. So for instance, how my body metabolizes carbohydrates, saturated fats, how it responds to training. There is a lot of in-depth results. Before I start jibber-jabbering, which I already have, let's just quickly rewind to where I did the test and then I'll get back to you with the result. Comes like this. Hello, this is what it looks like. Welcome to your genetic discovery. Your instructions are just under this trail. How to use your DNA test. Step 1, personal details and informed consent. So, that's done. Step 2, collect your DNA. Scraping from the inside of your cheek. I'm guessing this is what we need. Definitely opened it the wrong way. So, it says for roughly a minute. Looks like I'm brushing my teeth. There's like a weak point right there. That's where you bend it. Did you get that? You get this, you bend it, really? Okay, I didn't just break it, that's meant to happen. Swab, collected. Oh, remove the silica gel capsule from the foil wrapper. So removing and place in tube like that. Yeah, it's orange capsule. Place it in there. Okay, so the lid's on. They all come with a barcode. And it says put it around the tube. Precision on that. So there it is. That's it. We'll be in touch with your results in approximately 10 business days. They go in there. And I guess that's it. I'm actually very intrigued. I guess if you want to find out the magic to my DNA, you better keep watching. And the results are back. Yeah, and that's a snack. I definitely just used that little interval to eat. As you saw, sent off my DNA kit and I've now got the results. They aren't actually in here, they're online. There's an infographic which basically gives you a summary of everything. The results you get will show your power and endurance response, your VO2 max response, which is your aerobic potential, your speed of recovery, your risk of injury, and then what your optimal diet is, carbohydrate and saturated fat sensitivities, any lactose intolerances, your predisposition for celiac, alcohol sensitivity, as well as caffeine and salt sensitivity, antioxidant need, your needs for different vitamins, vegetables, and detoxification ability. First, I'll look into fitness genetics. Stephanie, welcome to your fitness report. So yeah, it gives a lot of information. You can click on a lot of things and then it will give you extra information if you want to read about it. This video is going to go on forever if I go into things very in depth. Like, do let me know in the comments below if you want any more. I hope I don't have food on my mouth. Any more about any of my results specifically. When you go into the fitness genetics, this is now broken up into training intensity, aerobic response, post-exercise recovery, injury predisposition, gene summary, and then you can download the full report. I'm going to look at my training intensity response. Let's discover how your genetics influence your training response. The way you respond to exercise differs from person to person. Variations in our genetic profile can help explain why some people see a better response to different types of exercise. This is one thing though that I do want to point out, and that it does say there is no evidence to suggest that knowing our genetic profile can be used to tell us what kinds of sports we can or cannot be good at. For instance, if my DNA result came out and said that I had very poor endurance, that's not to say that I couldn't run a marathon. We can always train and practice to become better at things. So my results show a mixed endurance bias. So I'm 35% power and 65% endurance. Make the most of your genetic tendency for endurance activity. This result actually, to me, isn't surprising that the bias is more towards endurance. I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but I essentially ran a half marathon without any prior training. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, I also did a Nuttyfitness edition challenge where I ran 10k in 10 days. And before that I hadn't run for a year, so I know that my stamina is pretty good for someone that doesn't practice this kind of sport. So it's basically saying if you have a higher endurance, maybe tailor it to more long distance running or cycling or swimming. We recommend using this result to tweak and influence how you build the type of workouts for your goal. Basically saying that I should kind of make the most of my genetic tendency for endurance activity. I can't say I do much cardio. The last time I did run was just for that challenge, and yeah, since then I haven't done any running whatsoever. So, you know, I'm very much all or nothing. I do know that I have potential, so I guess that's something to keep in mind. My camera just died, standard. I've just downloaded my fitness report, summarized breakdown. Yeah, my endurance and power profile shows that I'm more swayed to endurance, that I have a high aerobic potential. My results also show I'm actually quite prone to injury. Since I started training, I have not yet encountered an injury, so maybe this is just a warning that genetically I'm predisposed to having a higher risk of injury. My recovery speed is medium. Okay, so let's get into nutrition. If we look at some of the comments that I had got where people are asking how am I eating so many carbs but staying lean, here we can see carbohydrate sensitivity, saturated fat sensitivity. I'm guessing most people will want to know what my carbohydrate and my saturated fat sensitivity is. Right, your carbohydrate sensitivity. I have scored on the absolute lowest carbohydrate sensitivity side of the scale. You have a very low sensitivity to carbohydrates. This is our lowest bracket for carbohydrate response. The genes in this panel impact the way you metabolize and assimilate refined carbohydrates, and the combined effect of your variance puts you with the most reduced effect, meaning you are better placed than most for carbohydrate intake. When all is equal, your genotype or genotype has the lowest impact. My carbohydrate sensitivity is the lowest, which would in turn explain why I am able to consume more carbs than somebody else but still maintain my body. Okay, so this will look into how my genetics affect the way my body deals with fats. It is clear that the variations in our genes make some people tolerate saturated fats better than others. We refer to this in our reports as sensitivity. The greater your sensitivity, the less you want to consume. If we look at my saturated fat sensitivity, open those results, my specific genetic response to fat intake is again on very low. You have our lowest sensitivity for genes related to fat absorption, putting you in our lowest score bracket possible for response to fat intake. The genes in this panel impact the way your body absorbs, transports and metabolizes dietary fat. Your genetic profile means you have the lowest effect on these factors from fat intake, meaning you are well placed to deal with fat intake, genetically speaking. When all other factors are equal, your genotype has the lowest impact on your fat absorption and metabolism compared to other genotypes. And again, if you have a higher response, this will indicate that genetically speaking, you are at a raised risk of gaining body fat when compared to a low responder when environmental factors are equal. In those with a higher genetic response, lowering saturated fat intake has been shown to be effective. I am scoring very low on my sensitivity to saturated fat, which would therefore explain why I wouldn't need to lower my saturated fat intake, as I have a smaller risk of gaining body fat from saturated fat. I mean, I should probably end the video here now. But you see what I mean, that we all respond completely different to different types of food. The results also show what diet type is more suited to you. The Mediterranean diet most closely fits my results. By the way, yes, I'm half Spanish. The Mediterranean diet contains good fat sources in the form of olive oil and nuts. Stay nutty. It says the combined results of your genetic response to carbohydrates and fats would suggest that a Mediterranean diet would be a good start point for your profile. I definitely consume a lot of nuts, but it also says as well as oily fish. Quite interesting, because in my other result
I found that I had a raised need for omega-3,
which is found in foods such as fish, mackerel, salmon and sardines, which are a great source of omega-3. Up until about 2 years ago, I consumed no fish at all, which is outrageous given that, you know, I am half Spanish. I'm definitely going to try and eat more fish. My results also show I have a raised need for vitamin B and D. Now, obviously, I took these results very seriously. I read that vitamin D is found in certain foods and our skin can also create vitamin D when we are exposed to sunlight. I took absolute drastic action, put my health first and went to Cancun. I got that essential vitamin D. I also want to point out that when I was in Cancun, I upped my fish intake.
shrimp tacos.
I upped my fish taco intake. Yeah, those are already two things that I've done based on the results that I have gotten. Other things that I found out, I metabolize alcohol fairly normally. I metabolize caffeine fairly quickly. I actually have a raised salt sensitivity. I can't say that I cook with a lot of salt, but I do consume a lot of salty peanuts. Peanuts just chilling beside me. I will keep an eye on that. I have a fast detoxification ability. I'm tolerant to lactose, which is just as well because I eat a lot of cereal with a lot of milk. My camera died. I'm gonna take that as a sign. I think that's enough genetic and DNA talk for one day. I really hope you have enjoyed this video and it has been beneficial in some way. I hope you guys can also now see the significance that genetics has on us and why I bang on about genetics so much. You know, I just thought it was important to touch upon this kind of subject, just because nowadays everybody is following nutrition guides and diet plans to a T, and I just think it's important to always remember you're never going to get the same results as any anybody else, even if you are following the same diet or fitness plan. I'm not at all saying this to discourage, I'm just saying to be mindful of this, especially when comparing on social media with photos of others showing their progression. One final thing, embrace your body, focus on being the best version of yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts on this kind of video. If anybody is interested in finding out about their own genetic profile, I have a discount code Nutty50 that will get you 50% off. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box below. I'll catch you in the next video. Cancun videos pending, and of course, stay nutty, my friends. That's my stomach making noise, I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I don't know why I hit myself a lot when, you know, I talk. I should just calm down. Eating is my only talent, so shout out to Beers Meets Food for sending me that.